Hacknet is a terminal-based hacking game that begins by giving you a message from a deceased hacker called Bit. These messages eventually take you through a storyline of different missions in order to find out the truth. The game itself is designed around a terminal where you use certain commands and prompts in order to get into systems, in order to hack and find out the information that you need. On the left side of the screen, there is an area where you can see all of the processes that are running on the computer that you have. Everything from information, notepad, or programs that you run all are housed in this area, but also uses up RAM space, which means you can only have so much open at a time. The game essentially makes you have to manage the things that you're using in order to get into different systems. You'll use the terminal on the right hand side in order to type in the different commands that you need in order to get into systems. This is Linux based command, which means you basically have to figure out ways to connect to systems, find out the IP addresses, find out open ports, and then finally hack into the system or find a bypass past a proxy or a firewall. When you do get into a computer, then you actually have to use these same commands in order to navigate the file system. Most missions will involve you deleting something or potentially finding something and downloading it. But essentially you'll use the ls command in order to actually list the files on that system and then navigate that way. Once you do fully hack into a system, you do also have the ability, once you have a full connection, to use your mouse to click around in order to get into certain parts of it. But once you get used to this and you get used to actually typing in the commands, you'll find that you'll just navigate by commands only. Shortly after you start the game, you'll get access to the Entropy asset cache. This essentially allows you to download different things that you need in order to get through security. You'll find yourself going back here pretty much after every mission to get some new things in order to move on with the story. Certain programs like SSH Crack allow you to essentially find the password to get into ports on a computer, as well as other tools like firewall analysis that actually, as you run each pass of it, will slowly remove letters and numbers in order for you to try to figure out what the password is. Once you've actually figured out the password, as you can see on the screen here, you can use the solve command and then type in the password that you figured out from it. As you can see, the letters on this one are TIME, which is time, and that's the password to get in through the firewall. The game is very much in depth with the way you have to go through different systems to get certain things. There are some obviously dramatizations on certain tools that you'll use that are not necessarily going to be realistic to real life, but generally speaking, the game is actually really fun and interesting when you get into it and you start to learn the commands. I actually spent quite a lot of time making mistakes, going back on myself, and then eventually figuring out ways to do things, and after about 20 minutes or so, I found myself just typing in commands without even thinking about it. It feels like this game is basically a hacker training, but obviously it's not. But once you get used to breaching systems, connecting to systems, using IP trackers and things in order to find the IP address and open ports, and then figure out the ways that you can actually exploit those systems, then you'll start to get into this rhythm of just typing in commands without thinking about it. You do also have the ability to, like, I believe it's tab, in order to actually autofill commands, so you don't have to remember every single one of them. There are also missions like Point Clicker, where you have to change someone's leaderboard score or essentially wipe their data. And I actually found myself going on to Point Clicker and then playing it for quite some time because it kind of got addictive, because it's just a clicking game. Essentially, you just upgrade each field as you go and you earn more points over time. That's not even the game itself, but it's a game within the game that's kind of got me stuck for about 20 minutes playing it. As there are quite a lot of things to do in this game, and there's a lot more than what I've spoken about, the best thing for you to do would be to actually get the game and play it, because you'll find that there's a lot more to it than I can go over in one video, and my videos are generally about 5 minutes long. And this would be a good time, if you're enjoying this video, to hit that like and subscribe button as well, because it helps out the channel a lot. If you do like hacking games, this is definitely one for you, so definitely give it a go. If on the other hand you don't like hacking games, or this isn't your type of game because it's a bit too in-depth, then I have many other reviews on my channel. The last one I actually released was Gunsmith Simulator, so if you like guns or you like the idea of taking them apart and putting them back together, repairing them and refurbishing them, check out my video up here for Gunsmith Simulator, because it's a game you might really enjoy.